Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, Texas Gal Treasures. My name is Margaret, and in this video we're going to be talking about the things you can find at Goodwill or other thrift stores that you can flip on eBay for a profit. And the ones you see here will be ones that you probably won't see on other BOLO lists. Go down there and hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it so you don't miss any more videos like this to help you make that green. I always like to check the new tubs that roll out, and here I find a zip around wallet, so let's talk about this. You can get a nice leather wallet that's from a good brand at a good price. It's definitely worth a pickup. So let's take a look at some brands that have sold on eBay for a really good profit. Here you'll see brands like Valentino, Burberry, Coach, Kate Spade. Now on a few of these, especially like Burberry, some that have really high knockoff rates, it might be worth double checking those and really knowing the quality and what to look for. So be careful on those type that are super high end, but things like Kate Spade and Coach are pretty readily available. Also, there's a brand that I like to pick up called Loungefly. They may not be as high end as some of these other Coach, Kate Spade, etc., but they are very consistent sellers. When you're looking at wallets and you see ones that have maybe characters from different cartoons or things like that, Spider-Man, Toy Story, they're licensed. These ones can go for pretty good money. Important things to keep in mind when you're looking at wallets is definitely the brand, the quality of the leather, and the condition that it's in. If it's really messed up, then it might be worth a pass on it. Loungefly is a really good brand to familiarize yourself with because it's one that I see out there fairly commonly, a lot more than some of the higher end brands that are good to have on your radar, but this is a good bread and butter wallet that if you find it in nice condition, you can definitely flip it. I gotta be honest, I have a few that I just haven't been able to bring myself to list, and that Wally one right there would be mine for sure. So looking through here, I'm not seeing a whole lot of other stuff that I want to pick up, but definitely let me know if you see something here that I missed or maybe I should have taken a second look at. It's always a good idea to take a peek in the carts as they roll out because these are items that haven't been on the shelves yet and haven't been picked over. Let's talk about vintage ladies boots. So here are some boots. I did not end up picking these up, but vintage ladies boots can be something really good to flip on eBay. Let's take a look at some recent solds on eBay and we'll talk about brands and conditions that you might want to look for. Brands that are really good that tend to sell for good money are Tony Lama, Nakona, I'm not sure I'm saying that right, Dan Post, but the important things to look at are the material because these boots can be made from different types of animal skins and hides. The style of the boots, some are lower, some are higher, some are skinny. Going for unusual colors and also looking at the stitching or the stitch work, the kind of designs that are embroidered onto these boots. So those are things to look for. Now, as far as condition goes, some people like their boots broken in, and if the heels are totally messed up, the soles of them, you can always get them resold for not too expensive if it's worth it for the price of the boots, what they'll sell for and what you pick them up for. So keep those considerations in mind, the price you're paying and any repairs you might have to do. Let's look for some more items to flip, and if you see anything I missed, make sure that you leave a comment down below so that we can all continue to learn from one another. These are empty, too bad. But another tip is to go thrifting with friends. Not only can you learn new things from friends, but they definitely keep it entertaining. Big shout out to Kristen, the Garden State reseller, and Heather, the reseller. I had a lot of fun thrifting with y'all last week. So we all have our comfort zone when we go into thrift stores. There's certain areas that we go to we feel really comfortable with, but it's really important to have something you can look for in every section of the thrift store. And when it comes to kitchen items, I always look for Le Creuset. This is a really high-end kitchen brand that's usually a cast enamel, but they have lots of other things too. So I definitely always keep a lookout for Le Creuset. If I don't look for anything else there, that's one thing I always go through and scan for. So let's take a look at what Le Creuset looks like and what the brand is spelled like. So when you see it, it is a French brand. And one of the most identifiable features of the brand is this kind of ombre where it fades from one color to a darker shade, like this green right here where you see it starts off as a light green and fades down to a darker green. That's something that you see on a lot of their items. Not all of it though, so it's definitely worth a look to see what you've got there. Now also parts and pieces from Le Creuset. So here's just a glass lid for a Le Creuset pan that sold for $30 something. So keep in mind that even if you're looking at a sea of glass lids, if you see Le Creuset on the lid of one of them, it's definitely worth a pickup. But they also make all kinds of things like pie birds and little dishes, plates, cast iron skillets. So keep an eye out for that brand, Le Creuset. Sometimes just going through the different sections of the thrift store, you'll find things that have been misplaced. So here I find a nice silver plate jewelry box that has been set in the wrong section. Now, I do not end up picking this up because they want, I think, $5 for it. But I do find that it's got a little plastic over this here so I can peel it up and kind of rub the tarnish away to see that it is silver plate. Now, if this had been something I picked up at a garage sale, I would certainly have gotten it because I could probably sell it for about $17 to $20 is my guess. But they wanted $5 for it. So I really, they wanted $8 for it. To take that back. So that really would have cut into the profit I would have made on it. So I did end up leaving it at the store. So keeping in mind that no matter what you can sell an item for, if you're spending a ton of money to buy it, it may not be worth it if the return on investment is not there. So an area that I'm still uncomfortable with is glassware. I know there's a lot of money to be made there, but if you've got any tips for things that you would look for on this aisle, please leave us a comment down below. Let's talk about frames and artwork. There can be some good money in frames, but it just depends on the brand that you pick up. And as far as the artwork goes, it depends on the subject matter and the quality of the piece. So I was looking at that chicken one. These poppies are really pretty, but I don't end up picking any of them up at this time. Generally, personally, I look for things that are super quirky. Now, this piece I almost did pick up. Things that are hand carved wood that have an unusual subject matter can go for some good money. So let's take a look at this on eBay. These are some eBay solds of things that have been hand carved. I tend to look at these because these are the types of things that I like on my walls. I don't go for faces and things like that so much, but I really like hand carved wooden items for decorative pieces on the wall. So you can see here that depending on the subject matter, the animal, the country of origin, that they can go for quite a good profit. So these might be items that are not fast sellers, but they are definitely worth picking up if you find them for a good price initially. Like this one that looks like it's all carved out like a kind of a mosaic look. Definitely that style is something that I've seen that can sell for pretty good money, whether it's made of wood or metal. We'll get into the metal in a little while. So if you see a nice wood carved piece that's a wall hanging or an art piece that might be a subject matter that is highly sought after, then definitely take a look and see what you find online, and know that it probably won't be a quick seller, but you can hold out for a really nice price on some of these. So another place I like to look in the thrift store is the sort of junk aisle. This seems to be just a little bit of everything kind of dumped there. So sometimes you can find things that are really cool. I was looking to see if there was a salt and pepper for these, but there was only the one. Let's talk metal decorative pieces. Some of this stuff there's not really much market for, but if you can find a nice decorative metal piece, they can go for a pretty good profit. So stuck way back here, I see this cool key with these hooks on it. That little guy was kind of cute. And then in just a second, I find some arrows. So something to keep in mind when you're looking at decorative metal pieces is to look at subject matter. So as you can see, some of these are just sort of abstract metal pieces, but if you find things that are kind of trending like keys and arrows, these things could sell for a good profit. So let's take a look at some metal decorative pieces that have sold on eBay. As you can see, the hummingbirds that were really well done sold for a much higher price than ones that were a little less sophisticated looking. I don't know how else to describe it. Same thing with these like coffee cups. Those were not really selling for a good profit. But just as with the wooden pieces, if you're going for things that are universally popular, like the Tree of Life, or things that people might use to decorate on their patio, such as like a sun, arrows, keys, things like that might be worth a little bit more. And I'll just scroll through some of these so that you can kind of get an idea. These were recently sold. Those trees look like they sold for a pretty good price depending on the tree. But again, even $15.99, if you pick them up for cheap, then definitely worth it. Mermaids, another hot topic. That would be something really cool to pick up. I would have picked it up. And it seems like things that are celestial, like moons and stars and sun, seem to do okay as well. So we've got some more kitchenware here. Some travel mugs can go for good money, but you really have to check to make sure that the condition looks okay. And this is another place that you could look to find things that are like tiki mugs that might be just kind of stashed because they didn't know where else to put them. So I like to look through here because it just kind of seems like a mishmash of all kinds of stuff. So finding unusual things kind of tucked away in the miscellaneous items is definitely worth a peek. Let's hit another Goodwill. So I'm looking here at the computer bags. As you can see, there are a ton of them here, and if you don't know what to look for, then it might be overwhelming. Again, it's good to have at least one brand in your head that if you go there, you can take a peek and see if you find that one brand. And that one brand that I like to look for is Toomey. There are some others here that might be worth looking out for. There's one here that's like a Oakley tactical gear that I've seen quite a few on there. But if you're really wanting to learn more about different types of bags that you could pick up, then my friend Chris, the Bonafide Hustler, has got an ebook called Bags to Bucks, which is a resource for really diving deep into the different types of bags and the styles and the brands that you could be looking for. I'll drop a link to that down below. So another item that I like to look for, both at garage sales and thrift stores, are glass paperweights. They can go for a really good profit. So the first search I've done is by highest to lowest, just to kind of give you an idea of some of the higher end prices that you can find on some of these glass paperweights. There are some brands, Waterford and a few other high end brands that you could keep your eyes out for, but even some of the lower end brands or unbranded ones can still sell for a really good profit. So let's do a search by recently sold so you can get an idea of what kinds of things sell just on an everyday type basis. So even ones that are solid colors like that white one can sell, and then there are others that people look for that they sort of look like fireworks inside, or flowers, butterflies, or just artistic swirls. This is another item that might not be a super fast seller, but it's small and easy to ship, so it's worth picking up and taking a look to see what you can get for it. It's funny, when I shoot these, I see things I missed, like that cobalt blue glass and that cranberry glass I just passed right by. I did not even register them, but I definitely would have picked them up and seen what they were going for, because dark blue cobalt glass and cranberry glass can sell for good money. So another area that I am not super familiar with are the electronics and the small appliances. So leave me a comment and let me know what you look for when you're in this area. So another item I like to pick up, and I feel like I get a little bit of teasing because of it, but I love these wall hooks. I have sold so many of them, and right now I've got a ton that I need to list. But I sell these for between $25 and $30. Some of them can sell for even more. The more pegs and hooks that they've got, the more they can sell for. And right now I probably have about 8 or 10 that I don't have listed that I need to put up. I only like to spend about $1 or $2 on them because I know I can pick them up for cheap or less. And the one they wanted here, they wanted $5 for it. And I really didn't want to pay that price, even though I knew I could probably sell it for $25 or $30 and it's still a good profit. But I'm trying to keep my overhead low right now, so I did not pick it up. So again, this looks like another sort of mishmash area where they just kind of dump all kinds of housewares, home goods, decorative items. There seems to be not a whole lot of consistency with stuff in this area, other than maybe it's wooden, but it's another area to look. And then I always like to look in these sort of dumped little bins, like it's stationery and light bulbs and wallets and just like random stuff that maybe they don't know where to put. So that's another good place to look for treasures. And then I really wish I had picked up that mirror, the sun down there, but I did not. So let me know what you thought. Did you know about all these items already? Leave a comment down below and let me know what you learned. Or if you've got another item that you think we should keep our eyes open for, leave a comment and let us know what we should look for. And I will see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.